Hi, Night Flight fans. We're talking with the one and only Ozzy Osbourne. Good evening, Ozzy.
My first guest is a rock and roll legend.
Here, the word madman always precedes his name.
Let the madness begin. It's Ozzy Osbourne.
Happy you're here. I know that recently there's been a professional and a personal tragedy.
Generals gathered in their masses.
I'm surprised that you went ahead with your commitment to be here, and I appreciate that, and I know you wanted to take a minute here.
Just like witches at black masses.
Besides, and the last week, guys, people out there, I've lost two of the greatest people in my life. But it ain't gonna stop me because I'm for rock and roll is for the people. And I love people, and that's what I'm about.
Poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Ready? Hi, my name is Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy, your reputation is that of a wild man. We want to know how that started.
If I can try and explain this situation
Please.
in one... I don't know.
Ozzy Osbourne was rock and roll, the godfather of heavy metal ordained to entertain. But how did a poor kid from Birmingham, England, grow into one of the most notorious rock legends of all time? And when it almost fell apart, what saved him?
Very often I ask them, what do they think I would be doing if I wasn't rock and roll? And I keep saying, you know, my answer to that is I'd probably be in prison.
Why is that?
Because I didn't want to get a regular job. I couldn't conform to any system. I didn't want to get a job I had several jobs in factories and, you know, different jobs. But rock and roll, it's got this sort of outlawish thing with it. You know, you can do what you want and you don't have to get up and listen to some big fat baldy old fart telling you to take this box and stick it over there, you know.
Well, what happened was, you get four guys living in this industrial town in Birmingham, England. Why? I mean, we were walking out with our rear ends hanging out. You know, we had no dough, we had no prospect, and I think it's true. I'm saying that Tony and I, we used to rehearse across the road in a community centre in the mornings, across the road from a movie theatre. And Tony Iommi said to one day, I'll never forget, he said, wouldn't it be interesting to put this horror vibe to a musical thing?
And we just looked at a line of people waiting to go in to see this horror movie, and we thought, isn't it funny that people pay money to get the pants scared off them? And we just thought, yeah, why don't we try and do that, put that kind of a thing to music? And it just developed from there, really.
Now you consider everyone's all jolly and tiptoeing around, stoned on acid, having Woodstock and all love, peace and sex and drugs and rock and roll and all that's great, yeah. But for us guys that were living in this hole in the world.
What kind of a kid were you?
Well, I wanted to be a brain surgeon originally.
and my musical career kind of happened unplanned. It wasn't a real. I didn't leave school alone. That they said to me when I leave school, "What do you want to be?" I didn't say I want to be a rock and roller. It just kind of, it was better than a day job, you know.
You actually worked. You had some odd occupations as a
Oh
younger
yeah,
person.
my first musical job was working in a car horn factory.
Oh yeah, that's good.
And then I thought I discovered heavy metal, as they call it. And that was better than car horns because it was louder.
Yeah.
Really weird.
Were you poor, or is that...
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We had nothing. We had hand to mouth. Like, first up, best fed, you know. When I heard the Beatles, I was gone. I was like so sucked into the whole Beatle vibe, and I was more of a Beatle fan than a Stones fan. You were either one or the other in England in those days, and I was Beatles all the way, man. My bedroom wall was in fact completely covered. The walls, ceilings, doors, any Beatle pictures were stuck on my wall, and I used to have these fantasies of Paul McCartney marrying my sister and all this kind of crazy stuff, you know, and how wonderful it all was, you know. Well, the one thing that I took, what I always noticed about the Beatles, was the fact they always had really interesting, not always, but 99% of the time, they had some great vocal melodies. My father used to say to me, because my father was a working class guy. He works in a factory. My mother works in a factory, and my life expectancy was, I come from a family of 6. I have 3 older sisters, 2 younger brothers. I mean, it was like work, got a factory, die, and that's the end of it. And I thought, there's no way that I am going to spend my life like a bit like that. And so when the Beatles came into my life, it gave me the greatest excuse, the greatest dream to get out of this hole, this shithole that I was in, you know, this industrial environment. And I just got sucked in, you know, and then I used to go to school with Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath, and I was I just started playing music just for something to do, you know.
Yes, it is true. I mean, Ozzy was at school in a younger year than me.
Yeah.
With me, but I didn't really associate with him at school. And we were looking for a singer, Bill and myself, the drummer, and we went around the music shop and we saw this ad, Ozzy Zig Requires Gig.
Oh.
I said to Bill, I know an Ozzy. I said, but he can't be him.
Can't be the same guy.
And sure enough, we went round to the address of the house and knocked the door, and his mother came. John, it's for you. Yeah. And I saw him walking up the hall, and I said to Bill, forget it. Anyway, he came to the door and we talked to him for a bit, and then we left. And I said to Bill, oh, forget that, you know. I said, we don't want to go there. I said, as far as I know, he can't sing. I never knew he could sing.
Yep.
And then sort of a few days later, Ozzy came round to my house. So I didn't live that far away from him. He came round with the keys of the bass player and looking for a drummer. And it turns out that I said, well, Bill's a drummer. And Bill said, no, I'm sticking with you.
Yeah.
And so we said, well, why don't we all get together and have a go?
And then it kind of fell together. Tony was working with Bill Ward, with a band up north of England, and they'd just broken up and they were looking for a singer, and I was playing with Geezer Butler, and we all kind of met, and it suddenly just took off, you know. I mean, I didn't have time to say, whoa, it's happening. It's kind of like the earthquake, you know, it suddenly happens. And unlike a lot of other struggling musicians that I know, are, if not as good, but far more talented than I, or Black Sabbath were, as we thought at that time, we just instantly got recognition, you know, and it's just been, I've had a really charmed life, you know. I mean, every day that goes by, I'm still in amazement, you know.
Saved him. Black Sabbath rocketed to international stardom, but with an ascent that dramatic, it's difficult not to feel the force. Ozzy Osbourne, an entertainer so authentically himself, was split into 2 parts to grapple with the complexities of fame, John versus Ozzy, and Ozzy was winning.
It's like, I think there's a wild man in everybody, you know. It's like, all I am is a conductor of mayhem. I like to see people get off in a good way. I like to give myself to people as Ozzy. Ozzy is a sometimes very unhappy person because of one side of it, my life, it's like constant work and the understanding that people know me and like what I do. A lot of people do. I'm very privileged in that respect. But there's a side of me that wants to say, hey, you know, I want to go fishing in a lake, you know, I want to go whatever I want to do, you know, I want to do everything what everybody else does. But because of what I am, because of who I am,
it's kind of like, it's like my job application was a plumber. I wanted to be a plumber, you know. I mean, I didn't want to be. I mean, we all have dreams of our movie idols, and we all want to be somebody else, you know. And I became this thing. I
said to you earlier on before we came on the air, I'm a split personality. Ozzy Osbourne and John Osbourne is 2 different people. John Osbourne is talking to you now, but if you want to be Ozzy Osbourne, you know, it's like takes over. You know, it kind of, to be Ozzy 24 hours a day is kind of heavy, you know.
And I forget because I still think I'm me, you know. But other people see me, they go like, you know, it's kind of. Then I think, what are they staring at? And then I go, and then it all comes. to this person, I might be the horror of the day or their rock idol, because I have both sides of the fence, don't forget. I have the people that hate me as well, you know.
I've been turned around and pushed around and accused of everything. I was going to have a T-shirt made at one time that said, "If your day is totally screwed up, blame Ozzy Osbourne."
You said that you have a split personality. You have the wild Ozzy Osbourne and the John Osbourne who likes to go fishing. How do you psych yourself up to be Ozzy, and how do you unwind to be John?
With great difficulty, actually. I mean, it's kind of difficult for me to sit here and answer these questions when I'm in myself, you know. It's kind of like saying, people say, "Hey man, it's Ozzy." You know, it's like, you got to go instantly. You got to go, "I'm Ozzy," man. It's like, I'm happening, you know. I'm on.
A lot of people must think I live in a castle in the middle of Bavaria somewhere and sleep upside down on the rafters. And I do honestly believe that people that perform have to have some kind of a split personality. Because if I had to take that guy on stage home with me, I don't think any country would allow me to live there, you know.
Quoted as saying that you have become infatuated with the feeling of horror and with life's phobias.
My answer to that question is, have you ever heard of a guy called Vincent Price?
Yes.
Said it all. You're called the merchant of menace. Your voice sends thrills of fear up people's backs. Do you enjoy that reputation?
I love it.
Vincent Price acted a role in many, many horror movies. Has anyone ever stopped to think what he lives like? Does he live in a castle with bats and vampires? It's a role I play. I give the kids what they want, and I am what they want to be. I am what they want me to be.
What do you think the kids want?
Sensationalism.
Well, wait a minute. Before you start explaining it, let's tell them what you did. Bit the head off a bat. There, I said it.
It wasn't Batman. It was like a bat.
Uh-huh.
A real bat. What actually happened was I get a lot of weird people at my concerts. Like, you know, it's kind of rock and roll. You know? Some guy went at one gig on the last tour, threw a bat on stage, and every night we do a gig, you get all these crazy people that come and throw this junk on stage. Somebody threw a bat on stage. I thought it was one of these toy bats. So I picked it up, bite the thing's head off, and suddenly everybody's freaking out because it's a real bat. It's like,
Was it alive?
well, it was till I bit the head off it, you know. On the stage set, like the bat goes like asleep and the lights go on it. So.
Uh-huh. So it was, for all practical purposes, a toy bat. Did you know immediately, not having bitten into...
Well, I've eaten some pretty rough chicken on the road, you know. I mean, the taste of bats is very salty. It tastes of salt. Elaborate. And Ozzy Osbourne has been created through them, not through me. All I did was go out there and make a mistake of biting the head off a bat. And I tell you what, guys, it ain't fun when you get them rabies shots. Them shots hurt, man. You know, it's like heavy duty, man. It's like I had 24 shots of rabies vaccine, and it's not fun.
Now, but there are other accounts where you bit the head off was it a pigeon?
Well, it's my hobby, you know.
No, now, see, you're going to give these people the wrong... It's not really your hobby, is it?
Let's have a look at your neck.
No, hey.
My sole objective when I go on stage is to get that crowd as crazy as I can possibly get them, and I will do anything to do that, because they've paid their hard-earned money to see a show, and if I don't do it the best I possibly can, and sometimes on occasion I get sick or I get a cold or my voice blows out, that Ozzy you really don't want to meet, because I'm so upset that I couldn't give that audience what I know I can. But I'm only human, you know. Kids out there think you get a guitar, you make a hit record and you make millions of dollars and you just live happily ever after. It isn't that way at all. It's like very hard work, very heartbreaking. You get your rewards and things. You do get a lot of things like gold disc, platinum disc, cars, houses, and you know. Then you got things like divorces, management rip-offs, fatigue, drugs, alcohol, you know, hangovers, and you got to go on the next night. You've been up all night burning your bridges, and you got to go. Hi guys, it's good to be back on stage again. You know, you're feeling like crap inside. When I used to be on the road before, I used to get off stage, drink a bottle of fucking booze, and just
handful of sleeping pills, and you could have driven me over a cliff and I wouldn't have given a fuck. I mean, I was drinking fucking vast amounts of booze and taking incredible amounts of drugs. I mean, I tell my doctor this and he goes, how the fuck are you alive, you know? Why are you breathing? I'm a biological miracle as far as he's concerned.
It's like people say, what's it really like on the road? And the only thing, because people that don't do it think, oh, it must be like having a party every night. Okay, let's take that scenario. Let's say that it is a party every night. It ain't going to be too long until you get sick and tired of the taste of birthday cake, you know. I mean, when it's happening good and you're having a good time, there's nothing like it. But there is a downside to it. And the downside to it is when it's not going as nice as you would like it to be, but yet you still persevere. I've seen some incredible performers over the years, and I've always been mystified. How can these people abuse themselves by drugs and alcohol and still get on stage every night after night and do a perfect show? I couldn't do that. I mean, if I used to take a hangover on stage. I used to think, God, get me. Paranoid was always the song Paranoid was always like my encore. And I can remember many occasions thinking, God, it's like when will that song come and when it's all over, you know? That's like, it's like I'd go on that stage and I'd be feeling so dreadful from the night before that I'd got to do a show. And when it came to the song Paranoid, I'd go, I'm home. Then I'd get off the stage, get that old bottle of Hennessy and that bag of cocaine and that whatever I was doing, and I'd do the same again. It was always like on a revolving wheel of madness, you know.
The thing is that I've gone a long way different, you know. Yeah. It's like an old girlfriend to me. It's like, you know, you look back and you go, was I that person, you know? Yeah. Because we were all messed up on drugs and alcohol, because we thought that being in the rock and roll business, you had to be stoned all the time. Because that was, you know, because it was the thing to do.
And then after the Sabbath thing, I got my separation from Sabbath. I thought it was all over for me. I thought, you know, I was probably end up back in a factory in Birmingham.
After getting fired from Black Sabbath was to me my life raft, if you like, from getting out of the depths of this polluted city of Birmingham, England. And after getting away from Black Sabbath, I thought my career was over.
And what happened with Black Sabbath? We all ended up junkies and alcoholics and everything. Like the drummer ended up in a rehabilitation centre. I did for a while, and in the end, disaster happens. It's inevitable to happen, disaster, because it's like drugs. They were okay at the time, but we outgrew them, you know. We just, you know, we took LSD, we took cocaine, we took vast amounts of marijuana. It was fun at the time, but then we all just sort of, it's not a very good idea anymore.
So you have a more stable life now?
No.
I was really an out-of-control lunatic for a long, long time. And so people ask me, you know, in this year, I can't really remember, because I was just out of my mind and drugs and alcohol for many, many years. I mean, a lot of Sabbath's inspiration came from drugs and alcohol. I mean, I'm not saying here that, hey kids, go out and get get crack and all the rest of it, because you're becoming a rock star, because that will make you. It won't. But that's what we thought we had to do, you know.
Yeah. But the bottom of the line is, if you want to do anything in this world, you've got to really want to.
You got to do it yourself.
Fired from Black Sabbath, addicted to a myriad of substances, Ozzy was in a dark hole. His ultimate salvation, his family.
How cool is it having Ozzy as a dad?
Very cool.
Yeah, right?
Rock and roll!
Sharon! What the fuck am I doing? I'm stuck on the Weather Channel.
But before there was the Osbournes, there was Sharon.
I met Ozzy when I was around 18, and he came into my father's office for management with Black Sabbath. So I was 18 when I first met him.
Sharon had never had a boyfriend. No man, she says, had shown any interest in her before Ozzy. But at the time they met, he was married with 2 children. It wasn't until 10 years later that a romance began, when Sharon found Ozzy bottomed out from drugs and booze in a Beverly Hills hotel.
Love at first sight?
No. No, not at all. I was like, oh Lord, look at them. And they were all odd and hairy and...
By 1979, Ozzy's career was in decline. He had been kicked out of Black Sabbath because of drugs, but you saw something in him that others didn't see.
His great big heart and his talent.
Sharon.
What was it that kept you so attached to him?
He was so funny and quick-witted, and yet very vulnerable. And I just thought he was the funniest, sweetest guy I'd ever met, because he was so vulnerable about everything. And that just attracted me to him.
My wife Sharon, who I absolutely adore, and my children. My wife has her own story, because her father was a notorious manager in, Don Arden. He was a well-known guy, and so her father was playing vaudeville when she used to go on the road with her father. So her and me, we are like the kind of like Barnum and Bailey of rock and roll,
You've done a complete turnaround in your life, because I was commenting that someone like Ozzy looks about 20 years younger.
The last time we met, that was like...
You were really messed up.
I was really like on death's door, man.
How'd you get off everything? Did you do it yourself, or did you go to a rehab?
I went to the Betty Fords and the AA, and to be honest, I got a few basic things of it.
I go to bed, I eat food, I make love with my wife, I have children, I have arguments with my wife, we throw a few things around the room and then we make love again, and then, it's just like Ozzy and Harriet in real life, It's like, my wife and I have had our ups and we've had our downs, like no doubt 99% of the population of this planet have. I'm no different to anybody else off stage.
I got very, very sick. I became a seizure person. I started to have seizures, blackouts, and like I was crazy.
I'm going to change it.
Sharon must be like the woman of stone.
I don't know. When I eventually came round, I'm still on a kind of a stabilisation thing because of medication, because I started having major seizures with it all, Now I look back and I would always put the blame on her. You're overloading me with work, because she's my manager, and I'd lay it on her. And now I look back and I think how sorry I am for doing that. Yeah. But I couldn't help it because I was sick. It's an illness. Thank God I'm sober today with the grace of God.
Yeah.
This next, I'm cutting the touring way back because I've been married twice and I'm fed up of being a telephone father, you know?
Yeah.
Because my wife also is away from periodic times, and we want to be more of a family, because years go by so quickly, and then they've married and they've gone, and then you think, well, what happened to my kids, you know?
Yeah.
Last spring, the Osbournes became MTV's all-time highest-rated show.
Too late.
Ozzy, known to his heavy metal fans as the Prince of Darkness, was suddenly America's favorite dad. Everyone, it seems, was talking about the Osbournes.
Listen, I love the show. I mean, what can I say? The show is the real life of Ozzy and Sharon and the kids.
Wow.
Isn't it hard having the camera on you all the time, or did you like it, Ozzy?
No, some days it has its moments. Some days you know that as soon as you open that bedroom door, you're on. And some days I'd go like, not now!
But Ozzy, it went on for 6 months. Do they pay you a lot of money for this show to put up with 6 months of taping in your show? I can't imagine they pay.
She does all the work on that.
Sharon, what?
Not a lot.
Not a lot of money.
No. Then why would you do it?
It's kind of like, to be perfectly honest with you, we had no idea it was going to take off the way it did.
And outrageous behavior is the norm. But the Osbournes, who have been described as a dysfunctional family, appear to be an unusually close-knit clan. Ozzy, what do you most want people to know about you and your wife and your family?
They were caring people. They would love each other. My wife and family are my first love affair. My second love affair is my audience.
What about Oz? Does he have class?
He has dignity, class doesn't really work when you are explaining Ozzy. He's complex. He doesn't know how wealthy he is. He doesn't know how famous he is. He doesn't really understand the magnitude of what his name means.
It's all a load of junk, you know. People today in this society live in such a false existence, and all I try to do is bring them to reality. And the way I do it is by ramming a bit of truth down it, you know.
If the truth be told, Ozzy Osbourne, is it really that you're sane and the world is crazy?
No, I'm insane, everybody else is too. I tell you, there's a house, I mean, if I'm right, I know where there's a house for.
Where?
Lunatic Asylum now. It's a great place to be. There's no business like showbiz.
On that up note, all we can say is thank you for being here. It's been an experience.
It's been great to be here. It's been gorgeous.